welcome to this week's Leadership Moment. Welcome to my newly decorated home office, and I'm so excited about it. You know, a couple weeks ago, I was taking a look at it and just kind of got sick of seeing it the way that it always was, and decided for a change. And so late one night, I unfortunately made the decision of starting to move some of the furniture around. And after a while, my problem became my wife's problem and my son's problem as I asked them to come help me to basically move furniture and start kind of going through all the drawers and trying to just clean things up. And what seemed like a small project all of a sudden became a big project, and it became a huge mess. And there was a certain point, a breaking point, where I was a little bit in a catastrophe mode of why did I even start this project? And my family was also kind of asking those guided questions of, are you sure you want to do this? And gosh, there's a big mess right here. And that was tough. That was tough to see the mess that was in place. And as you're going through that mess, if somebody had stepped in at that moment, they would look at that mess and they'd say, gosh, this is such a horrible, horrible thing. But that's where leadership kicked in for me, and in my mind, I knew there was something better on the other side. That if we could get through this mess, it would be temporary, and that we'd go to something better. And so there's some mindsets that happen in leadership when you find yourselves in a mess, when you might think that there might not be any hope or any future. And as leaders, we need to put ourselves into these two positions to shift our thinking. So the first one is that we sometimes get into this mindset that what we've done in the past was the best, and there's nothing else better than that. And we find ourselves, when we start to make some changes, we find ourselves wishing we had kept it where it was. And we need to shift that mindset of thinking of the past being the best. And the second one is that when we go through that phase, we tend to think that when we make a new change that happens, it should only be temporary, and it should only be that we work on it for a little while, and then we revert back to when we can get back to normal. And I think about that home office as an illustration of, I guess, sometimes what we go through, especially through this season right now. And we think about all the things that are happening and all the changes that are happening in our schools. And we think about things, and we always resort back to the way we've always done it was the best way. And I challenge you as leaders to be thinking about that, to say, really, was it? Was it the best way? And maybe could there be something better? And then while we're making those changes right now, we tend to think about making little small Band-Aids and saying, we'll do this for now, and when we get back to normal, we'll go back and put it to where it was. Maybe in some instances, we will go back to how it was. But I do challenge you that maybe there's some learning that could happen that could take us to the next level. And we might find out that there's some things that we can learn from this to make it much better. I think about how we connect with kids differently and how we connect with families, how we're starting to figure out how to use the digital technology resources to make it better, to connect with our staff and each other. And so I challenge you to think about that in that change process, those two different shifts in mindsets. So as you go through this week, look for something. I want you to do some look-fors. The first one is look past what you see and look past and see that it might be something that you can do better. And how can you look past that idea of what's that temporary mess that you see in front of you to see something better that's out there? So with that, I hope you have a great week, and this is your Leadership Moment.